So this is a new blue roan that just came in. Her name is Kate. This is the first time I've worked with her. Horses go through kind of a rebellious teenage stage. A lot of horses, especially, I see it a lot in cow horse mares, cow horse bred mares. And they do that during their 4-year-old year. And Kate is a 4-year-old mare. I think I know what to expect with her. I think she's kind of in her rebellious teenage years. They have been riding her, so that's why I went on and saddled her up. But you notice she's not paying attention to me. She doesn't respect my leadership. She's not respecting what I ask her to do. She's just decided that she and what she wants is more important than what I am asking for. But I wanted to put this saddle on first with her to start getting a little pressure on her. What I need to do is convince her that she should pay attention to what I'm asking her to do. That there's a reason for that. And if she don't pay attention to it, life might be a little harder. If she does pay attention to it, life could be fun. There are people that love working with mares and people that hate working with mares. There are people that'll only own a gelding, and there are people that will always want to work mares. And the way I come across when I'm training and how I think about mares and geldings, you can make a gelding do something, but you have to give a mare a reason why it's in her best interest to do it. Mares will work for you. Mares will give you their heart. A mare will give you more than a gelding will if they have a reason to give it to you. If you're just trying to force them to do something, you're just going to end up in a battle. So with her being 4-year-old mare, what I am working towards is giving her a reason to do what I ask her to do. So I came out here, went straight to saddling her, put the bridle on her. I'm being all business. And my all business is going to transfer to her to separating when she can do what she wants, when she has to do what I ask for. And showing, I've been showing a really long time in quite a few different events. And by far, like 10 times, I've won way more money on mares than I have geldings. This is exactly the type of mare that I like in my program. Because this mare will give everything she has to you if you give her a reason to. Now let's ask her to move. I'm not going to be aggressive as far as I don't want her to not trust my direction. But I am going to give her something to do. We're going to work, and I'm going to be a benevolent leader. I'm going to ask you to work hard. Not into my space. There you go. I know most people don't change directions that way. I do for a reason. I'll talk about it in a minute. Go on. I don't ever disengage the back end when I change directions. Everything I'm ever going to ask a horse to do, we're going to want the back end engaged, up under them and collected. So let's talk about what she just did there. She just put her head on the ground. That can be viewed two different ways. That can be viewed as her putting her head on the ground, right there, to give in. Also, horses will herd other horses around in the pasture by putting their head on the ground and herding them around. Her putting her head on the ground is not her saying, okay, I'll do what you ask. For her, that was her attempt to see if she could be my leader, see if she could be in charge. So just as soon as that head went down, I sent her forward. We're going to change directions a good bit. There we go. See her set back on her back end and pick her front feet up, move them over. That's what I'm looking for. Whatever this horse does in her career, she's going to need, let's go forward. She's going to need her back end under her and her front end soft. Whether it's raining, cow horse, timed events, English, let's go forward. I think it's interesting, the cows are right there. She has noticed them, but it really hasn't affected how she's worked with me. She's paying attention, but she's not locking on them. She looks to me like a horse that has seen cows before. I show you a lot of horses that have never seen cows. She looks to me like a horse that has seen cows. I don't know, might be wrong. Go forward. Every time she puts her head all the way on the ground like that, I'm going to send her forward. Move your shoulder. There we go. When I'm asking her, I get two eyes, get her pointed in the other direction, and I'm taking the whip and slapping the ground next to her shoulder to get her to bring her shoulder away and initiate the turn. She's not going to let her put her head down. It's not a matter of bucking. It's not a matter of putting her head down like she's thinking about bucking. She's not. She's putting her head down to try to get a release from what I'm doing. She's acting like she learned that she could do that and the lunging would stop. Lunging's not going to stop. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for willingness. Right now, she's not willing. She's looking all around, pulls on me once in a while, comes in my space once in a while, counter bends away from the circle she should be bending. We're going to get compliance. Licking, chewing, head down, none of the typical markers that you see clinicians teach. That when they stop pressure, I'm not going to do any of those here. That's not what I'm after here. I need compliance. She's giving me the signals that she understands, but she's not giving me the actions. Basically, she's lying to me. And I'm sure somebody can say, horses can't lie, their behavior reflects. They're thinking that is not true. Behaviors are learned behaviors. They learn what they can do so they can get what they want. In the past, she has learned certain behaviors to get what she wants. That's what she's doing. There was an episode, like Histories, Mysteries, or Mysteries at the Museum, one of those shows, I don't remember which, where this, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, I think, where there was a horse that supposedly had learned to count. And the guy that owned the horse would give it simple math questions, like add 2 plus 2, and the horse would paw at the floor until he reached 4. Well, when he reached 4, the owner would give him a reward. Well, what that horse learned, he just learned to keep pawing at the floor until he got the reward that he wanted. It's basically what's going on with this horse here. She learned things to do to get a release from pressure. What she's trying is not what I'm looking for. I want you to look to me and ask me, what would you like me to do? Turns have gotten nice. We're getting there. We're getting progress. Notice when I lunge, I don't send the horse out very far. I got maybe 12 feet out. I rarely, if ever, lunge out at the end of a lunge line. I need to establish control and teach. Teach turn, teach stop. Teach willingness. I can't do that out on the end of the line. What you think? I noticed that she was pulling on me a little less, was starting to put effort into turning. I don't want you to come in. I know you're waiting for me to give you, you're looking for an answer because I was talking. That wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have been videoing. I'll send her back out again. Really don't want any horse walking into my space. Let's go. I know, you're a little confused. We'll work it out. I don't want any horse walking into my space. I want to walk in that last 10 feet. That way, me and the horse both knows absolutely that it was my decision to come together. If I wouldn't have been videoing and talking, when she stopped, then I would have walked up to her and I would have. There we go. That's how I want it to be. I want to close in that last 10 feet. See how she just put her head down right there? I petted her, her head went down. That's not the reaction that I want. You're going to work. Same head down as before. I petted her. She put the same head down, saying, I'm in charge. So we're going to go back to work. Just like a teenager telling the parent what they think the parent wants to hear for the teenager to get what they want. That's basically what's going on here. She's 4 years old. She broke the ride. She broke the ride. She's just trying to tell me what I want to hear to get what she wants. What you think? There we go. It's better. Oh, don't put your head down. Come on, let's go get some reins. Didn't really care for that. But we're going to see what happens. This is the first time I've worked with her. It's not going to be perfect. We just need to keep working in the correct direction. I know they have been riding this horse. I am going to attach the reins to the bit. I also have my spurs on intentionally so that I can ask her to move her body around. Life doesn't have to be hard, but you have to do what I ask you to do. Wait. Wait. Wait for me. Wait for me. Bridle is a little bit loose. We're just going to sit here a minute. See how she's kind of fussing with the bit? Bridle's a little bit loose. It could be a hole tighter. I'm not going to get off and tighten it now. Just as simple as step to the left, I'll release your head. Well, she's not fighting it anymore to start. Go. All right. Let's see what we can get to the right. Step to the right. I'll release your head. Acting like she might have some wolf teeth bothering her. Didn't think to check that before I got on. I will when I get off. I'm not going to stop right now. But what I probably will do is cut the session a little shorter than what I would have so I can check her wolf teeth. There we go. Move to the right. I am not a fan of standing in one spot and flexing. I'll bend the head to the side. I expect movement in that direction. I'll release the pressure when I get the movement. I'm not going to just stand here and reward flexion. Don't think she wants to bite me. She didn't open her mouth, but I'm also not going to let her put her face on my foot. Let's go back to the left again. Step forward. There you go. Forward. There we go. Step forward. Just kind of lightly tapping with my hands, or not my hands, my feet, my legs, my calf, just to get a step so that I can reward. Let's get another step to the left. Good girl. Go to the right. I'm not making contact with my spurs, all I'm doing, or even my heel. Basically, I'm just giving a little tap with my calf is really all I'm asking. Being pretty soft. I want to rule out a teeth issue. The way she's kind of bobbing her head around, that's an indicator of a tooth issue. But I'm not going to just stop. I'm just going to be soft. I can accomplish something while I'm up here. If it's not a tooth issue, and I get off to check her teeth, well then she won. Good girl. So I want to establish something up here that I can win, something that she can learn. There's always end on a good note. You don't want to end while a horse is being bad. But people put too much emphasis on that ending on a good note. Sometimes you get in a situation and you realize that you're not set up like you would like to be for that situation. You don't have to make something happen. You don't have to force something to happen to get that good note to end on. Nothing wrong with regrouping to come back another day to set up better. Really, I'm not really asking her to do anything other than bend her head and take a step. And I'll reward. Let's go bend your head this way. Take a step. She just came in. This is the first time she's been out here. There we go. So she has to learn everything that's out here. Take it all in and see it. Understand it's okay. Let's go this way now. There we go. I see some nice things about her training, how she's using her body, how she's moving her body. We got to work on her mind. Now we got a little bit better walk. Give her a face and kind of let her walk a little bit. Let's see if we can walk and steer. Go forward. There you go. Go forward. Now, this is a good example. I'm glad I didn't get off of her when she was kind of acting like maybe her teeth were bothering her. My two options there were teeth bothering her or she didn't want to give her head. Now, I didn't get off. I kept asking her to give her head, asking her to walk forward. And that behavior that I was getting in the beginning is pretty much gone away. What she's doing now, as I point her around and walk around, this doesn't say teeth at all. So I'm glad I did not get off because I suspected maybe her teeth were hurting her. I believe she was doing that to get a release from the pull. I think that was a learned response, just like the learned responses that she was giving me when I was lunging her. Now that that didn't get her way, the head tossing when I got on, that she didn't get her way with it, it quit. She's probably going to try to find something else here in just a minute, but that's not happening. So we're going to work on her mind. That's what it means. Like I said, she's kind of in rebellious teenager stage. So I want her to cue on me, listen to me. Every time she locks into something, every time her ears lock forward, I'm going to change directions. I'm going to say, hey, pay attention, we're going over here. Right now, her ears kind of relaxed. I'll leave her alone. Circling back to the cows. That horse over there move. We're going this way. Give her a little cue with my legs. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. Work on her attention. Ears locked over there. We're going this way. I know it's muddy there. You don't have to go through it. But they got her attention away from the cows. I'll probably be tracking cows on this horse pretty soon. Go forward. Go forward. Something in there. She tried to ignore me. Horse in the barn rattling his feed bucket. She locked on it. We're going the other way. I'm going to have to put more pressure on this horse here pretty soon. I probably will do that in tomorrow's lesson. Tomorrow's ride with her. But today, what I need to start exercising her mind so that she wants to listen to me. Give her a reason, listen to me. Like I said earlier, you can kind of force a gelding to do something. Can't really force a mare into anything. I'm not going to be able to force her, but I can encourage her to want to. And just as simple as every time she locks on something steering the other way, that's going to get work towards her want to. Let's go this way. It's time to start adding more leg contact. Before I was just pointing her nose and asking her to go forward. Now I'm going to start using a little bit of spur. We're going to start a little leg yield. Basically, I've just about started like a green unbroken horse, and we're already pushing leg, pushing spur, pushing her body over, advancing to like she's a more advanced horse. But I had to start in the beginning to get that foundation going. Move your shoulders, move your shoulders, move your shoulder. There we go. I got that movement, but I don't have fluidity. Move, move, there we go. Give her something to do. Move. So far, I really like this horse. Reminds me a lot of Ray Ray. There we go. Let's see what we got for a stop. Whoa. And a back up. Turn right. Up. See our step forward when I started to turn right? That's a little training issue we'll need to work on. Whoa. Back. Turn left. Nope, we're not going forward. There we go. There we go. Now, the way she's kind of pulling on my hands now is totally different than how she was pulling on my hands when I first got on. This is some resistance in what I'm asking her to do. This doesn't indicate a sore mouth at all. This indicates resistance. The big difference in how a horse uses its head for resistance or pain. This is just resistance. Left leg, there we go. There we go. Now in that situation, she was locked on the cows and I pushed with my left leg and her ears came back on me. This horse has had a pretty good bit of training. This is not a green horse. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Let's turn into the wall and see what she does. Left leg. Yeah, that was better. That was better. Let's see what we get at a trot. Shorten the reins up a little bit. Let's go this way. I started asking her to trot. She started trying to pull on my hands, trying to get some slack. I'm not going to let her trot off that way. Cow got his head caught in the feed bucket. Glad he figured it out on his own. Come on. I'm not going to throw your head away to trot off. You have to trot off at least a little bit correct. Come on. Oh, almost had it. See how she's starting to trot, then she's pulling her head up just like that. She's trying to get slack on the reins. That's kind of what she was doing before. What's happening here is she is trying to transition by pulling herself forward on her front end. I've talked about this in a couple of videos. She's not transitioning by pushing herself into the transition with the back end. She's trying to do it by pulling herself into the transition with the front end. Let's go over here. This horse is going to need some more work on her back end to get a better transition. I'll soften her a little bit so we can get to transition. Soften my hands a little bit. See how as soon as we're not even in a good trot. There we go. See how she's wanting to stick her nose out. Not pushing good with her back end. I don't know what that was about, but see how, there we go. Not pushing good with her back end. Our gait is pretty poor. We need more back end engagement. More push with the back end. Basically, it's real similar to what I've been covering with Rhett. He was wanting to travel kind of similar. I'm using a pretty fair amount of spur, just kind of pushing her body here and there. Lifting, there's a little bit of right spur, left spur, right spur, right spur, right spur. And when I say spur, I'm just touching. Just touching. I'm wanting to get her to lift her shoulder and push with her back. Every time I feel her pull on my hands, I'm going to give her a little touch with that spur. I feel her touch on my right hand, I'll touch her with my right spur. It goes back to what I had said in quite a few videos. They get the leverage to pull on your hands by pushing with their front foot. So when I feel her pull on my hands, you know, she's pushing on my right hand, she's pushing with her right front foot. She's pushing on my left hand, she's pushing with her left front foot. So by touching with that corresponding spur, that lifts the shoulder up, takes her leverage away, and starts rounding the back. We'll have to do some exercises to strengthen her hips. What I'm seeing with this horse, she has had some pretty nice training, pretty nice horse. She needs to learn to use her back end better. I think when she uses her back end better and things are easier for her because she's using her body better, she's going to be happier and be a better performance horse. Right there, she just kind of fell on both my hands because she's just not using her back end good. I'm going to be interested for me to look at this video so that I can see what her back end looks like as we're trotting around. I know what I am feeling. See her pushing on my hands. She's starting to lose her strength. She's getting tired. I know what I'm feeling what the back end's doing. I want to see it. That's the nice thing about doing these videos. You get to see what the horse is doing. If you're training your own horse, set a camera up and record what you're doing. Record your horse so that you can go back and look at those videos so you can say, hey, that's what that horse was doing. I need to do this. Sometimes the horse isn't doing what you think it's doing. So I'm going to transition down here in just a minute, and I bet you when we come to a walk, she's going to push real hard on my hands when we transition down because it's going to be all on the front end. Let's see. Actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Good girl. So this is, I don't remember this horse's name. I'll put it in the text on the bottom. She just came in the other day. This is the first time I've worked with her. I'll have a link up here to her playlist, and I'll be doing more videos of her so you can see her progress throughout her training. Until next time, thank you for watching.